Mine heritage, empowering mind.
So my discussion today is very easy. As they've already introduced me, I won't introduce myself again. I'm going to tell you or to take you through emotional intelligence and how it can effectively impact our leadership. You'll understand what emotional intelligence is. You'll understand the 3 myths underneath emotional intelligence, and you'll be able to have 5 practical steps. How many? How many? 5. If you can master those steps, you're unstoppable. What is emotional intelligence? When was the last time you heard of what emotional intelligence is? Or when did you first hear the word emotional intelligence? In the interest of time, I got to know of emotional intelligence in 2015. But that concept had not existed just in 2015. It had been introduced by Daniel Goleman in his famous book, Emotional Intelligence. But this concept has been in existence since 1879 by 2 scholars who got to understand and wrote and shelved their publication. And Daniel Goleman in 1995 landed on that publication and built and wrote a book, making it famous today. But statistically, we know that any leader who is emotional intelligent, has 16% chances of leading effectively, happy, and fulfilled. How many of us want to take that journey? Not just to lead, but to lead happily and fulfilled. Emotional intelligence is the underscore. And this is what you're going to understand and learn and apply if you're willing to listen and apply to what we're going to share. There are 3 fundamental myths about emotional intelligence that many of us know and should avoid. A myth is just a misconception that happens to be not true. The first one is emotional intelligence is the same as being a nice guy. Many of us think being a nice guy makes you emotionally intelligent. No, it doesn't. You become a fool out of yourself. Emotional intelligence simply means you understand the people you're in charge of. You understand yourself. Ronald talked about self-knowledge. I'll dive into it later. That's when somebody will know that, hey, I think he understands me. The second is emotional intelligence is an inborn trait. We don't want to learn. We think, as they say, leaders are not born, but they are made. So nobody is born emotionally intelligent. It is a process that you endeavor to do, the effort you endeavor to take. The third is emotional intelligence is less important than cognitive intelligence, IQ. You have seen bright guys, Bright guys are said to have a higher IQ. The Thomas Edison's, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, high IQ. But emotional intelligence is a blend. It's like going to a shop and you buy, what's your favorite car? Mercedes-Benz. Most of them are 380, right? Yeah. Now imagine you get a Mercedes-Benz, 0 mileage from Spear Motors, right? They give it to you. The speed is 380, it has maybe 4.8 horsepower. And they put it on the road and they get him, who does not know what car he wants. It's a joke. And they give it to him. And they get the other you who knows how to drive, they give you a Vitz and you're put on this Tirini road. Whom do you think will drive faster? The one with the Vitz, right? Because he knows how to drive. Compare the 2 analogies. That is QI and EQ. But in life, we need both. The driver should be very skilled to drive a very speedy car with a horsepower to make the balance. So it's not one that makes you excel as a leader. We are living in a world where we have troubles and tribulations. As a leader, you face the things every day. People will come to you, hey, you know what, my chicken, my goat. You have policies to analyze. You have conferences like this to attend. You have to present. You have to research. You have to have information. You have to be knowledgeable. But how are you going to navigate this chaotic world? Imagine this as you are a captain of your own ship and you're sailing on this life we call the ocean. And the skies are so dark, the winds are so heavy on you, the boat is so big that you're alone and you need to control it. The birds are up there looking at you and they're hungry, they're waiting for when will this guy drown and die and we pull up his flesh. What are you going to do? Emotion intelligence is the answer. That's when you're able to balance the winds, set the sail of your boat, be able to navigate, go past the storm, enter the storm, and reach your destination. This is why emotion intelligence is very important. And this is why we are here trying to navigate through. But for you to be able to navigate through this landscape, you need three things that you harbor. Your head that harbors the brain, your chest that has your heart, and your physiology that harbors your spirituality. You know they say we are spiritual beings in a human flesh? And that body that you have is your identity. That's how we get to know you. So when you put these three together, if you understand them, manage them, then you're able to face life trials and tribulations safe thereafter. There are 5 principles under emotional intelligence. The first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness simply means knowing yourself. The Greek had it all over the temples in Delphi. That's what made them great and famous. It was written all over the temples. Man, know thyself. Knowing yourself simply means you know your values, your morals, your character, your attributes, your weaknesses, your strength. Are you able, if I call you, can you tell me who you are if you can't tell me your name and what you're doing and where you come from and your tribe? Can you tell me the foundation of who you are, what you stand for? Do you know who I am? That's my life purpose. I get up every day to awaken our consciousness to face life challenges head on, living happy and fulfilled. That is me. The names, the titles, what I studied is irrelevant. But this is what I live for each and every day. And that's what guides my understanding, that guides my character, that guides my values, that guides my morals. What guides you as a leader? Do you know yourself? One myth about self-knowledge is that I have no control over my emotions. Guys, we're talking about emotion intelligence. Emotion intelligence, somebody may be seated in the audience and asking themselves, hey, but Gardner, you did not introduce what emotion intelligence is. It's very simple. Emotion intelligence comes from 2 words. Emotions that simply mean movement, energy within you. And intelligence simply means reading between the lines. Are you able to read between the lines? So emotion intelligence simply means how are you able to manage your emotions? Do you know your emotions? Are you able to manage them and you able to replicate and live them? So the first myth is us believing that we have no control over our emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have control over our emotions. As long as you do the 3 things I'll tell you at the end of this discussion. The second myth is that emotions are irrational. No, they are not. They are there to guide us. Every time you feel angry, what makes you angry? Are you able to even recognize that you're angry? The third myth is that I'm always self-aware. Nobody's self-aware. We're never self-aware. But we understand the situations that make us who we are. So it is a step-by-step process. In 1756, one psychologist from the University of Pennsylvania, he was a psychologist, carried out a research about human beings, but he used animals. He got an elephant, he got a chimpanzee, he got a monkey, and put a very big mirror in front of them. And while asleep, he put white spots on the foreheads of these animals. And when they got up, each animal was looking at itself in the mirror. And nothing was happening. It's only that chimpanzee that tried to look into the mirror and looked at itself and went to the mirror trying to touch the white thing in the mirror. Guys, keep with me. Are you getting it? The chimpanzee tried to touch the white thing, but later did not only stop at trying to touch the mirror, but it started touching itself. Self-awareness. Do you know who you are? Do you know what is on you? If you wake up in the morning, how many of us have seen people who are identical? Like they look like you. You're like, hey, this guy kind of looks like me. How many of us have met them? If you start becoming self-aware, you'll start meeting people who are just like you. Now that shows me that you're not. aware of yourself. But it is well, you know, we shall get there. How can we become self-aware of ourselves? The first thing is that you need to pause and reflect. We are talking about managing the energy within you. As a leader, if somebody comes and is shouting at you, are you going to shout back? Yes, if you do, you'll shout until the goats come back. The chicken, they say here. Yes. Are you able to stop? Stopping helps you manage, but you cannot stop if you do not understand, if you do not know what makes me angry. When you tell somebody, I am angry, I am bitter, I am happy, I'm excited, what do you mean? Is it just a word? Can you explain it? Do you know where it comes from? Stop. The second is, after you've stopped, label it. What is it? Me yesterday, I was getting angry. This lady came and she was talking very well. So what can we serve you? Told her, you know, all foods and Mbale. Okay, yes, another person, yes. And she went. Then I sit and wait. But there, I was being self-aware of myself. I was feeling the heat within me, the energy rising. When is my food coming? And that helped me to order for water and leave the place. Otherwise, I'll be like these men who shouted, wait, what's up? I've been here for how many minutes? You're not serving me. No, I had to manage my emotions because I knew what was happening within me. The third is ask, what's the bigger picture? What's in for me? Asking the bigger picture simply means you flip the coin. How many sides does a coin have? How many of us are saying two sides by show of hands? Your leaders, I expect you to raise your hands up straight very fast. How many? 1, 2, 3. How many of us say it's one side? How many of us say it's three sides? 1, 2. How many of us say it's no sides? How many of us do not know? How many of us are dozing? And how many are not following? A coin, ladies and gentlemen, has three sides. It has the tail, it has the head, and it has the ridge. But just as a referee flips the coin in every match, you are the referee of your life. You look at the bigger picture. Flip the coin. And in this case, it's not the head and the tail and the ridge. The ridge is you. The head is, it's my fault. Often in time, we do things and we react based on our own reactions, what we have done. We have seen this, guys. You start a conversation, it's going west, and you keep going west. All of a sudden, you start fighting. If you evaluate yourself, you know where the conversation went west. Yes? The other side of the coin is, it is not my fault. At times, we are concerned with things that do not concern us. Mind your business, they say. Viktor Frankl, in his famous book, you go out and read, Your Leaders. Leaders are readers. It's man's search for meaning. Man's search for meaning. He says, you should read out that book. It's amazing for leaders. He says, I'll paraphrase that, there is a big difference between stimuli and response. A big difference between stimuli and response. In your response, you and you and you and you, lies the power not to change circumstances, but to change who you are. COVID hit. Did we have power over COVID? SOPs, lockdown, distancing, sanitation, sanitize. These are things that we had in our control. As a leader, what do you have in your control? Flip the coin. At times, it's not your fault. And if it's not your fault, then you manage yourself to avoid what is happening. Yes? The second is self-management. Now that you have known yourself, you need to manage yourself. One of my own books that is coming out very soon is The Authentic Path. It talks about know thyself, but there is a missing pillar. Be yourself. Manage yourself. How much do you know about you that you're not using? How much? So it's not a matter of just knowing, it is about being. And you be by managing yourself, managing your emotions. Because the way we act as human beings is that it starts from a thought, an idea, it goes to an emotion, which is the energy, and to an action. If I judge you based on how you act, I'm judging you prematurely. I have to judge the thought because it's the thought that created the feeling that created the action. Yes? So management simply means you short-circuit the process. And how do you do that?